the case of the Congo versus Belgium, B-L-G-I-U-M. B-L-G-I-U-M. All right. Prosecution, are you ready with your opening statements?
Men and women of the jury, your honors. My witness today is a Congolese native named Makemba Kalota. This is a case about bringing justice to the millions of lives lost. The Congolese natives, in this case, was taken by Belgium from June 29, 1908 to May 21st, 1960. Henry Morton Stanley, the defense witness I will be questioning in this case, worked for Belgium and isolated himself with a brash anger to those he always met. The Congolese people were content with their lives, that is, until Belgium took over. The charges upon Belgium are murder, torture, and enslavement on the Congolese people. Makemba Kalota has endured the punishment of not meeting the quota of collecting rubber for Belgium. The main pieces of evidence being held in this case are the accounts of the natives, as well as quotes Henry Morton Stanley has said. We do not ask you to pity the people of the Congo. We ask you to be the beacon of hope Belgium has strived to destroy. We ask you to vote guilty in order to bring some peace to the lives that were lost and taken. Thank you.
My name is Kira Schumacher, and I'm the prosecuting attorney for the Congo. In the beginning of 1874, King Leopold II began the imperialization of the Congo simply for his own personal gain. This led to years of unwanted and unnecessary violence imposed upon the Congolese natives. This is a case of greed and arrogance and hatred. The country of Belgium invaded these people's lives and took everything that they had. In this case, I will be questioning my prosecution witness, Roger Casement, and the defense witness, King Leopold II. We ask that you find the defense guilty of murder, enslavement, and torture. Thank you.
Defense, will you make your opening statement?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, your honors. My name is Anna Turkala, and I'm the lawyer for the defendant in this case, Belgium. On November 12th, Henry Morton Stanley led an expedition to explore the lands of Africa. Financed by the King of Belgium, he led his men to explore and map out the terrain. They wrote journals of facts and about the people and the culture of the land, as well as attempted to create connections between the tribes. With only minimal weapons for self-defense, these brave explorers walked through the jungle to complete their mission. Unfortunately, this mission evolved into a long course of events that affected many people. Now, this is a case of misunderstandings and miscommunication. Language is often a barrier between people, and this fact rings true in this case. Through legal matters in terms of cultural conflicts, the true intent between these people was to prosper for one another. Now, Belgium was a prosperous country that wished to spread its wealth. Africa, in turn, was a place of disorientation and conflict. Looking towards the infinite possibilities in the future, Belgium traded for the land in the Congo and then established a workforce. The Congo became more colonized as well as unfortunate. The exact events that happened in the Congo were unfortunate, yes, but they all started with good intentions. Now, you will be asked to decide whether the events in the Congo were done with the idea of enslavement, torture, and murder in mind. In this case, you will meet Mr. Henry Morton Stanley, who worked with our defendant in the years the Congo was united. As an explorer, Henry traveled across many lands and mapped out the terrain. Mr. Stanley will testify his experiences and thoughts in the Congo, as well as relations between the men involved. After reviewing all the facts given, we will ask you to find the defendant not guilty on the accounts charged. In the eyes of the law, my client is innocent. It shall remain that unless thought otherwise. Thank you.
Good morning, your honors, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. My name is Keegan DeVore, and I'll be representing the great country of Belgium in this case. Prosecution is charging Belgium with the murder, torture, and enslavement of the citizens of the Congo. However, through the testimony of the great King Leopold II, I'll prove to you these charges are false. You will see the definitions of a few key terms, a photo, and an excerpt of the treaties in Belgium and the Congo. When all this is said and done, you'll see that not guilty is the correct vote. I'd also like to remind you, the burden of proof lies upon the prosecution, and it's their job to prove my client guilty, not the other way around. Thank you.
with your full name, please?
Makemba Kalias.
How was the entirety of the Congo before Belgium became part of the picture?
I was with my parents. I had a motive to serve my family and the gods.
When did you start seeing changes that Belgium created?
When the Belgians arrived, they were very interested in us. They started trading with us and introducing trinkets that seemed like magic to us. We've never seen them before.
Can
We
you
trusted them when they betrayed us.
Can you name some things offered?
Things like cloth and sometimes other trinkets.
When did the major changes start to happen?
I started to notice change around the time the Belgians arrived. They began trading with us while King Leopold was in charge.
What were your thoughts on the treaty created between Belgium and the Congo?
They traded with us and we trusted them. They knew what they were doing. Belgium made the treaty seem fair, like we were the ones getting the benefit, but we were.
Why did you start harvesting rubber?
Around 1890, Belgian soldiers started pressuring us. We were confused and just mesmerized by their advancements. We thought that we were helping ourselves, but their promises turned into them abusing us.
What happened if you did fill the rubber quota?
Many of us were held at gunpoint. I knew my place, so I always did the work.
Continuing, I'd like to introduce Exhibit G.
You may. Give me 1 second, please.
I'd like to introduce Exhibit N. Can you describe the picture for us?
Belgian soldiers holding guns against the Congolese people with their hands up.
Did you experience forced gatherings?
Yes, they were very common to be whipped and punished.
In these situations, would Belgian soldiers inflict pain and order to get complete control, no matter the consequences?
Yes.
Is there anything else you'd like to say to the jury?
The Belgians took everything that we had from us. We had no choice.
Your name is Makemba, correct? Did you ever work in the Congo?
Yes.
I'd like to introduce Exhibit P.
You may.
Would you please read the treaty excerpt aloud for courtroom?
In return for one piece of cloth per month, each of the undersigned chiefs, besides present of cloth and they promised to freely of their own accord for themselves and their heirs and successors forever. Give up to the said association of the sovereignty and all sovereign governments to all their
According to this treaty, what did your people give up?
I'm out. Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes. According to the treaty, what did your people give up?
all sovereign and governing rights to all territories.
Or would all territories include everything on it? So would that include natural resources?
Yes.
Would rubber count as a natural resource? I'd like to introduce Exhibit W.
You may.
Would you please read the report aloud?
Rwanda at the end of last year describes how the wretched natives of the Congo side steal across the lake
Whatever.
at night in frail canoes in order to sell rubber to native traders in British,
Now, what were the natives doing with the rubber?
selling it to British territories.
Now, to whom did the rubber belong to?
I guess the government.
Are you allowed to sell anything that isn't yours? So what the natives did was illegal. I'd like to introduce Exhibit Q. I'd like you to read another report, please.
Just say blank.
At blank, I witnessed the killings of 2 natives who had stolen rubber from the government stores.
Now, does the law state that stealing is allowed? So their actions were also illegal?
Yeah.
I have no more questions.
Gang, gang, gang. Keegan, you need longer pants.
Okay? You may. The defense calls Mr. Henry Wolfen Stanley. You swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you tiny plunger. You may be seated.
Will you describe your role in the Congo? I worked with the King of Belgium to create the Congo Free State. I explored and mapped out the land as well as had a road built from lower regions of the Congo to the top. I also oversaw some of the work conducted in the Congo.
So your actions influenced many people in the Congo?
Yes, I influenced the soldiers and workers in the Congo.
Could you please elaborate on your thoughts on the Congo natives?
I believe that any African American possessing attributes of true manhood among other qualities had a brotherhood connection with myself.
I'd like to introduce exhibit,
That's fine.
Mr. Morton, would you please read the exhibit, please?
So, Wangwana merchants are far more intelligent than I could have ever believed.
Is it true that you wrote this in your journal?
Yes, it's true.
Could you describe your family for me?
I had no real family connections. My father died before I was born, and my mother abandoned me. I was raised by my grandfather and other relatives until I was sent to a workhouse.
I'd like to introduce exhibit B. Would you please state who this is and who this is a photo of?
This is my son, Kalulu.
Describe your son for me.
Kalulu was my one and only child who I adopted during one of my expeditions in Africa. He was always with me on my journeys, both as my companion and helper.
How close were you with him?
I was very close to him. I included him in almost all my activities.
How much did you depend on him?
He helped me navigate the wild as well as communicate with natives.
So he was important to you?
Very. I took him everywhere. I included him in pictures and books. Some team members would disrespect him, to which I defended. I even named a waterfall after him not long after his death.
Did you spend money on him?
Yes, I took him to England and the U.S. I placed him in an English school for 18 months.
Could you elaborate on how others felt towards your son?
Some explorers disliked him, but I always stepped in if they had a problem.
Would you say it's hard to hurt anyone you care about?
Of course, if you truly care about someone, you'd hope they are happy and well.
Would you ever torture your son?
Of course not.
What about anyone who looked like your son?
No.
Any further questions?
What part did you play in the Congo?
I helped design the plan.
In order to understand the reasons behind what you've done, I can confirm that you and your family did not see eye to eye, correct? You were also forced into a war resulting in a poor demeanor.
Yes.
I would like, is it understandable to feel a sense of difficulty and stern behavior during this heartbreaking time?
Yes.
After battling your difficulties, you wished to map out the Congo, but Britain did not see eye to eye with you, correct?
Yes.
King Leopold came to you and addressed your wishes in order to attain the Congo, correct?
Yes.
So you were, in fact, simply following his orders.
Yes.
I would like to introduce Exhibit N. Can you please read the full quote?
Outside the city, they may be seen carrying huge loads on their heads, as happy as possible. Not because they are kindly treated or that their work is like light, but because it is their nature to be gay and lighthearted, because they have conceived neither joys nor hopes which may not be gratified at will, nor cherish any ambition beyond their reach, and therefore have not been baffled in their hopes nor known disappointment.
This is a quote directly from the book you have wrote. So you had observed the Congo people and their peaceful life as well as after the treaty was signed, correct?
Yes.
You explained they didn't understand they were being mistreated or abused, correct?
Yes.
You understood the treatment of the Congolese people and knew it would not seem fair, right?
Yes.
After all, you did give them a choice to sign the treaty. So the real question is, did you do anything to stop it?
No.
The result of that would be intentional due to the fact that you made the treaty, correct? Unless you don't trust your own actions.
Yes.
So you're a broken and honest man. Now tell the jury, were the natives murdered and enslaved after the treaty was initiated? I'd like to introduce Exhibit J. Please read the highlighted portion.
In return for 1 piece of cloth per month to each of the undersigned chiefs, besides present cloth in hand, they promise to freely, of their own accord, for themselves and their peers and successors forever, give up to the said association the sovereignty and all sovereign and governing rights to all their territories.
So you knew they gave up basically everything they owned to sign this treaty, correct?
Yes.
So I would like to introduce Exhibit G. Please read the highlighted portion.
2 Belgian army officers made a wager of 5 British pounds that they could hit the native with their rifles. 3 shots were fired and the native fell dead, pierced through the head, and the trade canoe was transformed into a funeral barge and floated down the river.
You intentionally worked under King Leopold, a man who ignored the fact that a letter was sent to him saying that the natives were murdered by Belgian soldiers. Did you want the natives to be controlled for Belgium's benefit, no matter the amount of slavery or murder committed?
No.
Well, according to Exhibit O, the savage only respects force, power, boldness, and decision. A quote directly from you. So tell the jury, Mr. Stanley, were you honest then or just broken? And women of the jury, your honors, it is clear to see the amount of violence and disrespect Belgium had for the Congo. Evidence used by the defense included Exhibit Q, showing that the Belgians actually killed the Congolese natives. Through the exhibits used at hand and the account of Miss Mukemba, it is stunning to see how much suffrage and destruction the Congo Free State has endured. Although the past cannot be changed, we ask you to vote guilty on the facts at hand. It is a case that will hope to bring peace to Mukemba, a native that has seen so much despair from the hands of Belgian soldiers. A country was broken by Belgium. We do not wish millions to endure that same fate again. Thank you.
Good job.
Your honors, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I first want to thank you for giving us your time today. I would like to reiterate the fact that we are just trying to bring justice to the Congolese people. Please remember the evidence of murder from the journal entry and torture and enslavement from the awful photographs. This is about bringing justice to those people, and they deserve to have their justice since they were treated so unfairly. Please vote guilty. Thank you.
I'd like to thank both the judges and the jury for hearing today's case. After hearing both sides, you should be convinced that the defendant is not guilty. Henry Morton Stanley, the man who oversaw the events in the Congo, was a respected man who was unbiased enough so that he had an African son, a son whom he had defended and cared for until he died. Surely a man cannot have bad intentions towards those who share resemblances with his son. After hearing the accounts of Exhibit W and Q, in which the Congolese natives in fact stole the property they had willingly given up, you should have realized that the natives were not completely innocent. As the excerpt of the treaty in Exhibit P stated, the natives have given up the rights of their lands over to Belgium, therefore also giving up their ownership over the resources. That being said, the natives unlawfully stole and then sold the rubber that did not belong to them. While Belgium followed the laws supported by the people, the natives in the Congo felt the need to become criminals to gain more. The evidence presented proved beyond doubt that my client is completely innocent of all charges placed before them. You, as people of the jury, must choose the verdict of not guilty due to the actions of the natives. But the prosecution has acted upon the facts of what happened, but not the why. In order to maintain justice in this court, we must consider all the facts, not just one side. As long as there is a doubt in your mind that the client is not charged of the charges, the law stands that they, in fact, are innocent. Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you, Your Honors, and ladies and gentlemen of the jury, for hearing today's case. After hearing all the evidence presented before you, you should be firmly convinced that Belgium is innocent of the charges placed against the country. You saw the definitions of the words torture and enslavement. You saw a photo that showed Belgium had nothing to do with the charges, and you saw part of the treaty showing Belgium was free to do what they wanted with their land. So thank you. Remember to vote not guilty.
of the indictment, murder, the people of the Belgium has been found guilty. On the second count of the indictment, torture, the people of Belgium have been found guilty. And on the third count, enslavement, the people of Belgium have been found not guilty. Sentencing at a later date. Thanks.